No gym, no barbells, no machines. Just a 6x9 cell, 4 walls, and years of nothing but time. And somehow, this environment has produced some of the most brutally effective bodyweight training methods ever documented. Methods that quietly shaped an entire fitness movement you've probably seen on YouTube without ever knowing where it actually came from. But here's the twist almost nobody talks about. The most famous source for this training might not even be who he claims to be. And it's not even the first time this exact story has happened in history. Stick with me, because this goes back further than you think. The book that started it all. If you've ever seen a prison workout video, odds are it traces back to one source, a book called Convict Conditioning, written under the name Paul Wade. Wade claims he spent 19 years inside maximum security prisons, San Quentin, Angola, Marion, and learned this system directly from older inmates. Here's the strange part. He's never done an interview, never allowed a single photograph. Nobody outside a small publishing circle actually knows who this person is. Several people inside the fitness industry believe the book wasn't written by an ex-convict at all, that it may have actually been developed using material from established calisthenics coaches, with the hardened convict backstory added as branding. Whether that's true or not, one thing is undeniable. This book kickstarted the modern bodyweight training movement. So today we're breaking down 8 of its most brutal, least understood exercises, and the surprising history behind why prison-style training looks the way it does. This isn't even the first time. Before we get into the exercises, you need to hear this story, because it's wild, it's documented, and it happened almost 100 years before anyone coined the phrase prison workout. During World War I, a Russian circus strongman named Alexander Zass was captured and imprisoned 4 separate times. Shackled to walls and floors in cramped, damp cells, with no equipment except the chains holding him there, Zass started pressing and pulling against those restraints just to keep his strength from disappearing. He was essentially inventing isometric training, building strength through static tension instead of movement, by accident, out of pure necessity, decades before it became a recognized training method. He later escaped captivity multiple times, credited his prison-built strength for it, and went on to become a famous circus performer known as Iron Samson, bending iron bars and breaking chains as his signature act. Here's the honest caveat. Most of what we know about his escapes comes from his own later writing, and there's no independent wartime record confirming every detail. But the core fact isn't disputed. A man in solitary confinement, with nothing but his own body and a set of chains, pioneered a training method still used in gyms today. Prison-born strength training isn't a modern internet trend. It's at least a century old. Why this training style exists at all. So why does prison-style training consistently look different from a normal gym routine? The constraint is the whole story. Several US prison systems have pulled free weights from yards over the years, citing safety and liability concerns. That policy shift forced entire populations of men to rebuild strength using nothing but body weight. Inside a cell, the constraint tightens even further. No bar, no open floor space. In true solitary conditions, you often can't fully extend your body in any direction. So the training that survived here isn't just bodyweight training, it's bodyweight training under the tightest physical limits imaginable. That's exactly why this exercise list looks different from a normal calisthenics routine. Exercise 1-2, the foundation. Push-ups and bodyweight squats aren't on this list because they're basic. They're here because they're infinitely scalable. You can progress from a wall push-up all the way to a one-arm push-up over years. You can go from a chair-assisted squat to a full one-legged pistol squat. In an environment where you might be repeating the same movement for a decade, that scalability isn't a bonus feature. It's survival. The old-school approach never chased higher rep counts for their own sake. It chased harder variations of the same base movement, which is a fundamentally different philosophy from most modern bodyweight content online. Exercise 3-4, the isometric holds. This is where prison training splits sharply from a normal gym routine, and it connects directly back to that Alexander Zass story. Wall sits and plank holds. Both isometric exercises, meaning you hold a fixed position under tension instead of moving through reps, show up constantly in cell-based routines. That's not a stylistic preference, it's a spatial necessity. You don't need range of motion to hold a position, you just need a wall and a floor. In a space too small to fully extend your body, isometric holds let you build real strength in a footprint of about 6 feet. That single idea, tension without movement, is the exact same principle a chained prisoner discovered by accident over 100 years ago. Exercise 5. 6. The mentorship moves. Some of the most advanced movements in this system weren't discovered alone. They were passed down. Pull-ups, when a bar or ledge is available, and leg raises show up repeatedly in first-person prison training accounts as movements taught directly by older inmates to younger ones. One widely cited account describes a man in his 70s, still capable of fingertip push-ups and two-finger pull-ups, personally teaching form to inmates decades younger than him. This wasn't a video tutorial. It was a physical mentorship chain, sometimes stretching back generations inside the same facility. One of the most human details in this entire story, and one almost never mentioned in standard workout breakdowns. Exercise 7. 8. The final boss movements. Now for the two moves treated as the absolute peak of this system: the handstand push-up and the bridge. The handstand push-up removes the bar entirely and loads your own body weight vertically, building shoulder strength that can rival a barbell press. The bridge, arching the body from shoulders to feet, is presented as essential for spinal health and full body tension, something most modern routines skip completely. And here's the part almost nobody says out loud. The most extreme versions of these movements, like a full one-arm handstand push-up, are treated as the ultimate goal of the entire system. But there's no verified footage of the person most associated with popularizing this training actually performing it himself, which raises a fair question worth sitting with. How much of prison-level strength is genuinely achievable for the average person, and how much is folklore built to sell a training philosophy? The uncomfortable truth. We have to be honest with you here. Some men who've actually served real time have publicly pushed back on this entire genre, saying the workouts shown in popular prison training media don't reflect what actually happens inside. That's a genuine credibility gap in a genre built almost entirely on authenticity as its selling point. So here's the fair takeaway. Whether or not every detail of the convict backstory is real, the training method itself holds up. Progressive bodyweight training, isometric holds under tension, and mentorship-based coaching are all legitimate, proven tools for building real strength, regardless of who first wrote them down, and regardless of whether that story traces back to a California prison cell or a shackled strongman in a World War I camp. 8 exercises, 0 equipment. A training philosophy that has now independently reappeared at least twice in history, in 2 completely different prisons, a century apart, because when everything else gets taken away, the body is still the one piece of equipment nobody can confiscate. If this changed how you think about where modern bodyweight training actually came from, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, the ones that question the story instead of just repeating it. And if you know someone who swears by prison-style calisthenics, send them this video. They might be training a real method, wrapped in a myth that's older than any of us realized. I'll see you in the next one.